guys get a chance,
go to uncutgear.com.
check out some of our things, our designs that we have. We're getting new designs every week. We're going to keep adding to them. It's not a lot of designs up there, but go check it out, guys. Kind of give us feedback. You guys can say, man, your shit sucks, but we actually think it's pretty cool. And a lot of people have told us they really liked it, and a lot of people are buying shirts, so that's a good thing. But anyway, ouch. But anyway, let's move on to the world of MMA, because in about 10 days' time,
Fucking karate kick.
about 10 days' time, we're going to see the continuation of the Strikeforce heavyweight Grand Prix.
Did anyone even remember their Strikeforce still has a brand? I love how Strikeforce is going to, we're going to have a December event. We're going to have, shut the fuck
You're not having shit unless Dana White says you are.
Once this is done, your company's done.
Yeah.
Because right now all the talk is about Alistair Overeem. Mm-hmm. Because they're trying to bring Overeem in. Frank Mir goes, I'll fight him. I'd love to see it. I just want to see Overeem fight somebody who's not changing tires, beating up women, or whatever else they do.
That's actually would be a good first fight for him.
I would love to see him fight Frank Mir.
Right.
Because Frank Mir has decent stand-up, and he can go to the ground.
And he's a big guy.
Since everyone said, Alistair Overeem would just take Matt Mitrione to the ground. Really? Because what did he do? When's the last time he had a submission win?
Yeah. I mean, he's okay.
I don't get off that big Hollander
the K1 shit, you know? Anyway, we're going to start the first... We're going to talk about
the Strikeforce World Heavyweight Grand Prix.
Right. Now, there's going to have obviously going to have the two co-main events with the heavyweight fighters, but there's also going to be some good fights that are going to be before that. The first one's going to be a lightweight.
Well, for you lucky folks who have HDNet fights, and if you have Verizon in this area, you actually get that. I don't know about DirecTV, and I'm sure shit no Comcast doesn't have it. So, I mean, the prelims are going to be hosted there. They look pretty decent, but I think what Kevin was getting at, the first fight of the night is going to be Pat Healy versus Maximo Blanco.
Blanco, that's white, shorty. Must got a good last name. I might have to just go for him.
Well, I think I'm going with Pat Healy. Pat Healy has one hell of a MMA record. And I don't mean like win-loss. I'm just talking about total fights. Man's had 41 fights. He's fought some decent name guys. He's fought Dan Hardy, Chris Lytle, Chris Lieben. Yeah. He's definitely got the experience advantage.
He is, I mean, and he's had wins over those guys. Yeah. You know, I mean, the guys...
He beat Lieben, but he beat some of them.
He beat Condit, he beat Hardy, he beat, I think somebody else. He's what, 28 years old? He's been fighting since he was 18 years old. He's like a Diaz brother, you know? He's been around for a long time. Blanco, on the other hand, is 8-2.
Blanco competed in the Pan American Games, so he has some serious wrestling behind him.
He really does. But he's still a little green. I mean, he's only been actually fighting in MMA for probably 3 years.
Yeah,
so
hasn't been
he's going to be
long.
Yeah, it's going to be not a rookie going up against a veteran, but this guy's definitely not as experienced as Pat Healy. So I'm going to probably lean with you and go with Pat Healy.
I'm going with Healy as well. Now. No. My man, the money weight. This is one guy. Somebody out there said, who would you like to see fight Anderson Silva? And you know what? If I had to pick two people right off the top of my head, I would pick King Mo Law and I'd pick Gegard Mousasi. Because anyone who's watched Gegard fight, it's hit or miss with that cat. And if you get him on a hit, I think it'd be interesting to watch him fight Anderson. I think it'd be interesting to see King Mo take that fight. Right. So I still think there's some fights out there for Anderson. And yes, I understand Mo Law fights at 205, but as he said, he's a money weight, and he can get down to 185.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I think King Mo...
he's about to have his motherfucking hands full.
He is going to have his hands full in this fight. I mean, because Roger Gracie is incredible at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He is just a man. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's won the world championships on numerous occasions. And, I mean, his MMA record, he's undefeated. He's only had a few fights, 4 fights, I believe. He actually beat Kevin Randleman. I think that's the biggest fight, you know. But, I mean, you're talking about a BJJ record of, what is this BJJ? 65-7. Okay. So
with that said, and I think if this goes to the ground, obviously Gracie's going to tap him. Mm-hmm. Now, what I think King Mo needs to come out, use a jab, keep the distance, and sprawl like a motherfucker. Right. And if Roger Gracie starts doing that pull guard shit, back off, let the guy stand him up.
Yeah, I think Roger Gracie right off the bat is not even going to try to stand up. All his wins have been through submissions. And, I mean, obviously he's a master at BJJ, so I think he's going to definitely try to take him to the ground. Problem is he going to be able to take a wrestler like King Mo down, who's probably, like you said, incredible at sprawling in?
Yeah, King Mo wrestled in the Big 12 or Big 10? I think it's the Big 12.
I think Big 12, yeah.
So, I mean, he's an accomplished wrestler, but he's also, his stand-up is, it'll make for an interesting fight.
It really will. Now, Jacare
Souza.
The middleweight champion, is going to be defending his belt against Luke Rockhold. I don't know a tremendous amount about
Luke Rockhold is 8-1. His one loss coming to Tony. I'm not even fucking with your last name, but that was back in 2007.
Right.
I don't. My problem is I don't know a lot about the guys on Strikeforce.
Right.
Sorry, that doesn't make me a true fan or whatever. But there's
Right.
more sports in the world than
And
MMA.
the people that say they don't know a lot about the guys in Strikeforce either, because when they got people like Herschel Walker fighting,
You mean the human Viagra?
the human Viagra shorty, the human erection.
Anyway, Luke Rockhold is 6-0 in his last 6 fights. His last fight he beat a guy named Paul Bradley. I don't think he's fought a guy like Souza. And with that said, I think Jacare's got this under wraps.
Yeah, Jacare is just, I think it's going to be, he is a really, really good fighter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's a reason he's holding that belt. I don't see this guy coming in. I could be wrong, and I could end up taking my fucking shoe out of my mouth.
I don't think so. Because, I mean, last time we saw Souza fight, he took Robbie Lawler into the 3rd round and tapped him out with a rear naked choke. Before that, he beat Tim Kennedy and Joey Villasenor. So, I mean, he's definitely fought. I mean, he's fought Matt Lindland. I mean
he's beat Lawler. He's beat Tim Kennedy. I mean, a lot of fucking good study. I mean, Jacare has beat a lot of people. And the last loss he had, as the guy was just talking about, was Gegard Mousasi back 3 years ago.
And then he had a no contest versus Jason Miller.
Right.
So, cut via illegal soccer kick. But I'm still going with Souza.
Yeah, I'm going with Souza as well. Now, moving on to the fights that everybody's going to be tuning in for. It's going to be the Heavyweight Championship Grand Prix. Obviously, the first one we're going to talk about is going to be Antonio Bigfoot Silva, who was slated to fight Alistair Overeem. Obviously, he got a big toe injury.
My big toe.
You know,
now I got cut from the company.
It's wrong. Bottom line is he's not showing up. No. You know, and he's not going to be in. He's cut, and now you've got Daniel Cormier replacing him. Daniel Cormier replacing him.
Now, for you folks who don't remember, the last time we saw Antonio Bigfoot Silva, he was pounding the piss out of Fedor. That was back in February of this year. So now he's had a decent lengthy layoff, and Daniel Cormier, I think, wasn't he fighting on like the undercards of these things so he could stay in shape and this, that, or the other thing?
He was. I mean, this is the thing with Daniel Cormier. I mean, I look at him, and he's a great freestyle wrestler. You know what I mean? He's got decent hands. He really does. The problem is that he's kind of short. You know, doesn't have a great reach, and now you're going up against this real lengthy fucking guy. You gotta not only you gotta get on the inside and be able to connect with him, but you gotta be able to rock that big ass jaw.
Good luck. And
I mean, that
there's a lot of
Jay Leno's cousin.
And there is who?
Jay Leno.
I think I think Bigfoot is an appropriate nickname for that cat because he's huge and mongoloid-esque. But I mean, I don't think Cormier has a chance. I really don't. I mean, every time Silva fights, he gets better.
Yeah.
His stand-up gets better, and we know he has jiu-jitsu because he's Brazilian. Do they do anything else down there? Mm-hmm. But he's obviously met with a striking coach, and his striking's getting better. Yeah. So Cormier, what, you going to shoot in and take him down? Good luck with that. I just Antonio Silva, I got winning this either TKO, probably the 2nd to 3rd round.
Right, I agree with George. I think it's not going to get past the 2nd round.
No.
I think he'll take him down.
I think Silva's going to end up winning this whole tournament. I've said that from the jump. Mm-hmm. But now on to your favorite and my dark horse.
Well, both our dark horses, actually. At the beginning of the tournament, when this tournament started, God knows when back. I mean, my dark horse was Josh Barnett. Your dark horse was Sergei Kharitonov.
Yes, he's got internet wranglers and marbles.
Right. This is going to be a good fucking fight.
I think so.
It's going to be a good fucking fight. You know,
these are 3-round fights, or did the UFC come in and implement the five rounds?
See, I don't know if they're going to be 3 or 5 round fights. Obviously, you know who I'm going to go with, and I think you know who George's going to go with.
I think Kharitonof's going to fucking rock his world.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that Barnett will do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a good fight.
I think with this one, you could literally flip a coin.
Yeah, I really do. Now, we want to see who you guys think is going to win this fight, you know?
Well, not only that, but tell us who you think is going to win on the whole entire card. Hopefully this, I mean, for the folks who remember the last 2 Strikeforce cards, in my opinion, it were not the typical stand and bang, fireworks, great Strikeforce cards we've come to know and love. Mm-hmm. While still talking about Strikeforce, they're trying to hold an event in December. I wish you the best of luck, and they're saying Cyborg will be back on that.
That would be cool.
I'm talking about the female Cyborg. I'm not talking about the male Cyborg. I don't know who she's going to fight. Maybe it'll be a bear.
Yeah, that girl is nasty. I would love to see Chris Cyborg. I think she got fucking a bad rap, dude. Because I really did think she got railroaded. Because, man, she was fun. I think people were excited to see that girl fight. Before we leave, it was funny. I was talking to Joey the other day, man. You know, Joey's a funny motherfucker, and we were talking about the talking about the Anderson Silva, Yushin Okami. He basically said, he goes, I'm going to tell you what. He goes, when Silva hit him in the first round, he renamed him. And I said, what did he name him? He goes, he renamed him, You Shouldn't Have Come Here.
Joe, you're a trip.
You shouldn't have come here.
Now, for you folks who want a very good breakdown of Anderson Silva and Muhammad Ali, and for you people who don't understand why Anderson keeps his hands down where he does, it's to bait people in. It's no different than Chuck Liddell going like this. Mm-hmm. If you watch a guy with a wide open stance like this, you're like, I'm going to throw a punch right down the middle. And what would Chuck do? He would turn and clock the shit out of you.
Right.
He would lean and throw those.
Yeah.
It's no different. It just looks different.
Yeah, it's not. Jimmy, I think, was under the impression that he was being cocky and arrogant, but
it's part of his game plan.
Is part of his game plan. Anderson Silva is probably, he is not. I mean, a guy that gets on his knees and bows to you after he's whipped your ass is pretty. That's the last thing of being arrogant. You know,
we could talk about this for a long time, but Kevin and I are not big on promoting other things, especially when no one's come to us, ask us to do it. Mm-hmm. Go to bloodyelbow.com. Search UFC 134 Judo Chop. The dude does a phenomenal breakdown of a thing they call the anchor punch.
Right.
And if you go down lower, you can see there's a link to Bernard Hopkins explaining it's not the powerful punches that usually knock a guy out.
Right.
Bernard Hopkins says, as a boxer, it's that quick speed and accuracy.
He's hitting it, the tail end of that punch, the snap, the last that really has a lot of power, man.
So, and I know no one wants to believe us, so maybe you'll believe Bernard Hopkins, maybe you'll believe the Muhammad Ali video, because when he knocks out Sonny Liston, 4/100ths of a second it took him to throw the punch from here to Sonny Liston's jaw.
Yeah.
A lot like Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva. That's why I think he is the most dangerous MMA fighter out there right now. And
next to Jimmy's mom.
Yes.
Women's MMA.
We're out.